Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. Trevor here, joined by Thomas as always, and we are talking about Best Actor. Who do we think is going to win? Who do we think is going to be nominated? It's a very tight category because
It is.
there are like
There's
six
six
people and then
people
a
to fill
drop off.
5 places. There's
And
6 people to fill 5 places, I think, is where we're at with
So
this.
it makes a very interesting discussion. But first, let's talk about winners because we've
I
made
think
a
we
change.
have a revelation. I think, yeah,
We've come to a revelation, and I'm going to say it
Yeah.
because I chose that. I'm going to. And it's that if you look at the last couple of winners, right?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser, Will Smith, not Anthony Hopkins. COVID year was a weird year. Whatever.
Yeah.
We don't care about that, right? But like those last two, and look at the last two Best Actress winners. Okay, they like their narratives, and we've seen post-COVID, and now we're still kind of post-COVID. Like the world's just not great. Like we're coming out of the SAG strike. Okay, people like stories and narratives that make them feel good.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, they're gonna like narratives again. Cillian Murphy is incredible in Oppenheimer. There is not a narrative to vote for him.
No,
You know
other than
narrative.
I think the one narrative you can construct around Cillian is the fact that all the actors talk about how much work he did for the role. I think that is the only thing. Like you can sort, he's so devoted or committed or whatever.
He did such good acting.
Exactly. There is a much better narrative for
and he's still, I mean, my second favorite behind Koji Yakusho, King.
Yeah,
Days. Watch it.
Sure.
But Bradley Cooper in Maestro, he makes a lot of sense. We're seeing a lot of buzz out of AFI right now. Everybody's talking about him. He's the face of the film. He directed it. Like this would be like, I mean, he's getting into Glenn Close, Diane Warren territory. Like he's reaching double-digit nominations this year without a win, and it really kind of feels like it's his time. Like he's doing everything. He so clearly and obviously wants it. Like he's directing himself in a prosthetic makeup biopic about a historical figure dealing with a lot of inner turmoil.
Yeah.
Who's a composer who does
when you put it like that, it sounded simple this whole time, really.
He so clearly wants this Oscar, and it feels like I mean, I don't know. Like he wants it so bad.
Yeah.
People are liking the performance. I just feel like the Academy can just be like, yeah.
I mean, it's the most Oscar-y, baity pick I think you can go for. The narrative is all there, as you say. And yeah, it's just a sort of thing where you'd go, yeah, let's just give it to Bradley Cooper. And it's less about the performance or anything like that. It's about just him.
And we haven't seen Maestro. Not saying that it's a bad
exactly.
I'll probably end up
raving about
Cillian in DiCaprio because of
people are still raving about his performance. Like the passion's there. The passion for him is there, and you can see exactly where he'll win his precursors. He won't win the BAFTA, but he doesn't need to. He'll win SAG.
Yeah, he's going to win SAG. Cillian's going to win BAFTA. He is going to win SAG, but he's like, I think SAG would honestly be it because I mean, Globe and Critics' Choice really I'm sorry, they don't matter that much. They kind of matter, but they don't matter that.
Yeah.
And if it's SAG, the concern is if Oppenheimer is winning Best Picture, that's kind of the concern. And I'm not saying that Cillian is definitely out. I still feel kind of conflicted about this, but I've begun to lean a bit more towards Bradley Cooper. It's just
I think it's just the thing about narrative versus performance. I think we'll come to the end of the year and people will be passionate about Cillian's
the last 2 years,
exactly, and it's the exact same thing that's happened the past 3 years. And what the result? It's just a narrative one that's won. It's just there is enough of a whatever in the Academy of a contingent in the Academy that will just go for these performances. And so I
mean, and it really the Austin Butler, Benedict Cumberbatch, Cillian Murphy definitely fits in that versus the the Brendan Frasers and the Will Smiths. They're the bigger names, they're the more famous people, they're the stories, they're doing transformative stuff, and
it's Netflix as well. They know how to campaign actors. So
which they haven't won a lead acting Oscar.
Really? See, that is surprising. You feel like they're knocking on the door of it then, at least.
Right. There are pushbacks to Bradley Cooper, but the other thing that why we had Carey Mulligan winning actress for a moment, and why we still think that she can potentially is makeup. And this is why I was riding so hard on the Austin Butler train, and why I ended up being so wrong is because I, like a lot of people, thought Elvis was winning makeup.
Yeah.
And because of that, I was like, well, if you're winning makeup and you get nominated in a leading category, guess what usually happens? You win. Not always, but usually. If you're doing a transformative role in a biopic, all these things. Maestro has no competition here. Like, you could maybe argue poor things, but, like, Maestro's winning makeup. Let's be serious, everybody. And
Yeah.
if that's happening, like, it would feel difficult to go against Bradley.
For sure, for sure. Either way, I think these are the two win contenders we've got really in the category.
Yeah, I don't
I
see
mean,
anybody else taking the Oscar. I think it's
no.
between the two.
Yeah, I mean, the other one people have been mentioning as potentially win competitive is Common Domingo, but I mean, we'll get onto him later. I'm not even sure his
I'm
nomination
not
is
even sure he gets
assured.
in.
I don't even think he gets in. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the other two, I guess, fairly solidly in contenders, or at least this point, are Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul Giamatti. I think they're both solidly
Yeah,
in.
they're
And
in
we talked about
strong
their
picture
performances
movies.
before. Exactly. I think it'd be very weird after having seen the holdovers for Paul Giamatti not to get in if the film is in. Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And Leonardo DiCaprio is very good in the film he's in. We've seen it now. Yes, that is a deserving nom. That is a very,
great.
very strong Leonardo DiCaprio
Year-end career
performance.
best performance. Like,
exactly. So, like, I feel like those two don't need much talking about. They're just solid picks.
Yeah,
but neither of them have a win narrative. So.
Yeah, but they just feel correct at this moment.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going Jeffrey Wright is where both of us are kind of leaning towards, I think, at this point. And it's because we're starting to feel really good about American Fiction. I think a lot of people are going to end up responding to it. I'm seeing a lot of online buzz. I'm seeing a lot of hype around the film. People are genuinely really excited about this movie. And I mean, like, I think it's going to do well at the guilds. Like, I think it could win. It's going to be win competitive for WGA.
Yeah.
This could get a SAG Ensemble nomination, Thomas. It could get a SAG Ensemble nomination.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody loves Jeffrey Wright. He's never been nominated. Maybe it's time that we finally give him a nomination. He's doing a biopic. It seems really, really fun, especially in a year where, like, sure, you have things like Barbie and stuff, but like we had Oppenheimer, we had Killers of the Flower Moon, like we got a lot of depressing movies, and this is just a very agreeable type of thing.
Yeah.
The concern is it's MGM, and guess what else?
Yeah.
Those MGM bitches have. They have Air.
The good old
and
Air. Good old Air.
What if they campaign Air over American Fiction, and this ruins everything? We in this house, in this side of the screen, we hate Air. We very much hate Air. And
we think Air is a fine film. A fine film. It's fine.
We dislike Air greatly. And we would be very upset if Air got nominations. But apparently they're pushing it kind of hard. And if that ends up being their push from MGM Amazon over American Fiction, then like maybe this doesn't happen. But as of now, I feel kind of comfortable having it in screenplay, actor, picture, and Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to just note that we are in a bit of, as you say, an American Fiction buzz where it's just been premiering. And I think this is a good thing about sort of later full festival releases in terms of awards campaigning, is they can do the slow drip of momentum building. So it's been slowly getting
audience awards.
Exactly. Like, so we are in the buzz of American Fiction, when the buzz for the film will be at its height. Whether that will continue until the whole way, maybe not. I could see this end up being something like a Don't Look Up, where just acting is rumored for it to happen, but just doesn't actually come to fruition. It is just
something that won WTA, by the way. Remember when that happened?
Exactly. So I still think that can do very well there, but just turn into a screenplay thing in terms of its picture chances. Like, it's just really that. So I don't see Jeffrey Wright being in if the film's not in, and I can see one which the film is in and he's out. But either way, as you say, I think the momentum is there, and the momentum is just so far superior to that of Common Domingo at this point.
Yeah,
where I just think makes sense to pick. Exactly. I mean, we'll have to see when Rustin is released what the buzz around it will be like, but I don't imagine it'll be that high. Sure, Netflix can campaign nominations that objectively shouldn't or are not looking like they're going to happen. Exactly.
Adam Sandler and Hustle. Remember when that got a SAG nomination?
Exactly. Things that don't look likely, and they can just somehow revive them. Potentially, this is something that happens from here, but I don't know. I think the momentum's with American.
You know what will probably happen? Common Domingo will probably get in at SAG, and they'll snub like Giamatti or something.
Maybe they could do that.
But yeah. I don't know. I like Domingo feels like a classic, like, you know, gets Globe, gets SAG, gets in the Critics' Choice 6, and we're like, oh, was it him or Jeffrey Wright? And then just goes to the actor in the stronger movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that Rustin's coming close to a Best Picture nomination.
And no, I mean, it's just screaming Daniel Deadwyler from Till from last year, where the film is not really happening at all.
Nothing, even though people are raving about the
performances are raved about. Best performance of the year. Transformative, like whatever.
Yeah.
Just doesn't happen because the film.
It's sad how nobody talks about Till.
No. And that's the film itself is average. It's a fine film with a
And
great
that's what I'm
performance.
hearing about Rustin. And this is just
Yeah.
a trap that a lot of biopics will fall into. And I don't know. It feels like Domingo will be the one left out here. Because
Yeah.
like Jeffrey Wright also is gonna get comedy. And you know what? You know what, Thomas?
What?
What if he wins the Golden Globe over Paul Giamatti? What if that happens?
He could.
What if that happens? What if that
That'd be
happens?
very
Like,
interesting.
not
I
that
think the
Globes are like,
Globes. I think the Globes will
not
take
that
to
the
the
Globes are
holdovers.
important or anything.
No,
but
and I also think the Globes will take to the holdovers. It's a very Golden Globes.
I understand, but I'm saying like Jeffrey Wright could very much win that.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
if that happens, him giving a speech propels the film.
Yeah.
And well, we'll see if they're actually televised this year. I don't know how. That's a different conversation.
Probably
I think
a live stream on YouTube at this
probably.
point.
I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a gut feeling at this point. But going right over Domingo. As far as anybody else,
I mean,
like,
there's really no one to talk about.
Koji Yakusho.
I mean, maybe I think.
No, I'm not saying he's gonna get in. I'm just a personal shout out, Koji. If you're watching,
Yeah.
you broke me. You made me sob. Everybody, please go watch Perfect Days. It's my favorite movie of the year. Please. But like, he won't happen. He'll maybe get BAFTA, which will be really cool, and we'll scream about it, just like when I screamed about Julie Ducournau getting a nomination for Best Director at the BAFTAs, because the BAFTAs do fun things sometimes, and it's very fun. But
sometimes you need to clarify. Sometimes the BAFTAs do fun things.
Let me clarify. Sometimes they do something. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do not fun things.
Other things. Yeah, I know. There's Andrew Scott and All of Us Strangers. We don't really feel amazing about that film as a whole.
Yeah.
Walking Phoenix and Napoleon. No. Barry Keoghan and Saltburn would be great.
No.
Would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Kingsley, Bob Marley's not coming out. Like, there's a lot of things here.
Yeah.
Fassbender and the Killer. No. Matt Damon and Air.
There's a lot of noise. Oh, Matt Damon and Air is not happening. I'm sorry, David and Air is not happening.
I don't think it is. I'm scared. Yeah, I don't like. There's Anthony Hopkins in both of his movies. I don't know. I don't think that there's a strong enough narrative to break into that sick. And it's just which one drops out. And right now, I think Domingo's the one who misses.
Yeah, agreed. I'd agreed with your search in that category. 100%. I agree.
All right. Well, those are our thoughts on Best Actor. You can stick around and subscribe or do any of the things, or don't. Who could? I don't know. But you can watch more videos on all of the categories for the Oscars upcoming, coming out over the next couple of days, as well as reviews, Grammys talk, Emmys talk, all of the fun stuff. We like movies, TV, and music here. But until next time, you can support the SAG strikes in the link in the description, as well as supporting us, following us on social media if that's something that you're interested in. But until next time, thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.